guys, it's Hank here from Keto Connection. Today in this video what I want to do is address this video to people who have no fundamental or basic understanding of macronutrients like carbohydrates, fat and protein. Alright, so there's two things that I want to address in this video. Where do carbohydrates come from, protein and fat, what foods contain them and how they affect your body. So those are what's known as the macronutrients. The second thing I want to talk about is how to manipulate them in order to get into ketosis and how it works on the keto diet. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the macronutrients. Carbohydrates is the first one. Alright, what your body does with carbohydrates is it'll break that down into sugar and then down into what's known as glucose, and your body will use that as energy. Alright, so whatever you eat, generally say you have a piece of toast in the morning, your body will break that down into sugar and use it as energy. Whatever you don't use, your body will then store that energy for later, and that'll store as fat. For in case you're starving in the desert one day and your body needs to use this fat. That's what it's been designed for and how we've evolved. Alright? So foods that contain carbohydrates are things that are made of grain generally. So pasta is made from grains and bread. Also things like rice, that's got a lot of carbohydrates in it, and fruit. So anything that contains sugar in it has a lot of carbohydrates. In milk it's known as lactose, and that's sugar from the milk. Also things like refined products like Coca-Cola, that sort of thing. They have a lot of sugar in it. So your body will use all that as energy, and like I said, it'll store that as fat if you don't use it. Once your body runs out of carbohydrates, you will then get a dip and you'll feel hungry, and your brain will tell your body, hey look, I need to eat now in order to pick myself up again. So a lot of times you'll get tired and then you'll feel hungry and cranky, or hangry as they call it, and you'll need to eat in order for your body to pick back up again and function properly on the sugar that it needs. Alright, so the second macronutrient is protein. Alright, protein comes in foods like meat, has a lot of protein generally, and eggs have a lot of protein. Basically most animal products have a lot of protein. There are also a lot of high protein vegetable options, and what it does in your body is it repairs your muscles generally, and well, actually it's got a lot of functions in your body, but like I said, with this video I'm going to break it down real simple. Protein is essential in many functions in your body, but most people know it as bodybuilders use it to put muscle on. Alright, so protein helps repair muscles. In fact, most of your muscles are made from protein, so that's why when you eat the muscle of an animal, that's basically where you're getting your protein from. Alright. The third thing I want to talk about is fat. That's the last of the macronutrients. Fat, like I said before, is stored in your body if you have too much of the carbohydrates, and then when you do go into a starvation mode, your body will then use the fat as energy. Alright. So starvation mode is basically when you don't have any sugar and you run out of bread in the toaster. So we've evolved to use our fat stores as energy when we run low on food. Okay, this is the 21st century, and if you're living in a first world country, you're not going to run out of food, generally speaking. Alright, so our evolutionary process is now no longer working. We always have enough food, and we were never intended to get overweight in the first place. So the second thing I want to talk about is how to manipulate these macronutrients. Alright, so the carbohydrates, fat and protein, in order for your body to thrive and survive in a better state, known as ketosis, which some people call the survival mode of the body. So in order for that to happen, we need to eliminate the sugar in our diet so that your body doesn't have that form of fuel. Alright, it then goes into ketosis, and it has to use body fat and the fat that you consume in food to use that as energy. This is actually a really good source of energy, and you don't get the dips and highs and lows as you would having sugar. Alright? So basically what we do is cut out pretty much all the carbohydrates out of your diet. So all the bread and pasta and rice. Okay, anything with sugar in it, that goes. So what happens then is your body is looking for another fuel source. It then taps into your fat stores and breaks your fat down into ketones, hence keto diet. Alright? So where it broke the carbohydrates and sugar into glucose, it breaks fat down into ketones, hence the keto diet. So basically, in order for your body to go into ketosis, as a rule, your carbohydrates should be less than 50 grams per day. Alright? To be safe, less is better. So I aim for about 20 grams per day, and I get into a deep state of ketosis, and I try and maintain that for as long as I can. Basically, when you're in ketosis, you're not going to feel hungry, and you're basically going to perform better, and you're going to be more clear in the mind. The third macronutrient I want to talk about is fat. This is the main part of the keto diet, as well as eliminating the carbohydrates. Alright, this is the part of the diet that makes the whole thing work properly. We've got to eat a large amount of fat in this diet while reducing the carbohydrates. But don't worry about it storing as fat, because you're in a fat burning mode when you're in ketosis. So everything that you eat, you want to have fat in it, and your body is going to use that as energy. And when it runs out of energy, it's going to use your body fat. So that's why on the keto diet you don't get hungry, because you're never really running out of energy. Your body's got heaps of fat to use. What is important is that you have healthy fats. That's in another video that we did, so if you want to have a look at that, go ahead and do that. You want to be eating the correct amount of protein. How much depends a lot on you as a person, but they generally say around 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. So that's the real fundamental basics of the whole diet. The reason that we eat fat in order to lose weight is that because fat is really satisfying and fulfilling. You don't get hungry as you do on a lot of other diets. So this is basically how the diet is sustainable and easily maintained. When you eat the fat, it's very filling and satisfying. So you don't crave foods like you do on other diets. You never feel like, oh man, I'm starving, I've got to eat something, because you always have fat for fuel. So now that you have a basic understanding of pretty much how the keto diet works, hopefully on a couple of other videos we can go into a bit more detail on exactly what you need to do. But that's the very fundamentals. If you can grasp that, you're already on the way. Again, if you like this video, click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.